Hey guys and girls, White Ninja out here, back with some more gaming videos. Today bringing you Diablo 3. As most of you know who'll be watching this, the new patch has come out, so the new season's started. So of course I have been playing. And as you know, Monk being my favourite, one of my favourite characters, I thought I'd make a video. And in a previous video I have made a Tempest build before. However, now there's changes to the some Wukos set. There's now potential for the Tempest build to actually go somewhere half decent, and especially when you can have the cube crafting sets as well added on and modified and things like that. Now this is by no means perfect. I've only just got it up and running. I've been a little bit behind because I've not had a great deal of time to be able to play Diablo due to exams coming up. However, this is what I've come up with so far. I've not actually used anyone's build, surprisingly. I thought I might, but I just thought I'd wing it, give it a go. I'll have a look at some builds later on and see what I can come up with, and see what I need to change and see what to make it better, because I'm sure there's loads and loads of things I can do to make better. So this can do around a T8, Torment 8 with pretty good well, it actually was pretty easy. I just did it before. It just took a little bit of time. I was in greater risk 54 with it. However, I did struggle. About 45 to 50 is probably where I would stop with this. Going any higher than that was really pushing it. So around Torment 10 with friends is pretty good. So I'm just going to go through the items first, because the skills sort of complement the items to keep it so we can keep going and working, because obviously the Tempest build uses a hell of a lot of spirit regen, so this is sort of quite important. So we'll start off with obviously some Wukos set. Now actually I'll start off with the cube pieces. Now this is no by means perfect, because I am missing some pieces, but I'll explain them as I go because I've not had time to do them all yet. However, this item is an absolute must. Vengeful Wind. This basically is like apart from the some Wukos set, it's like the bread and butter to for you to be able to do some damage, and I'll show you why when the set progresses. I've got the Mantle of Channeling. So this is basically a permanent increase of 25 damage and a decrease in 25 damage. So that's really good. And I've took the Zodiac Ring, so it just helps me make sure my spirit regen stays up, but I don't really need this. I am going to change this for Ring of Royal Grandeur, and then I will be changing my pants and getting Hex Pants, and that way that's another 25% on that as well. So that's the sort of the change I'm going to make to it when I actually get a Royal Ring and Hexing Pants. But until then, this is what I've gone with. However, the rest of the build, you sort of have to stick with. You can change quite a few. You can change some things, but I'd say a lot of it has to be this sort of build. So there's some Wukos. So the head, shoulders, arms, chest, and amulet. However, obviously, depending if you want Hexen Pants, then you can change one of these out to something else. But these are the ones I've gone for. Now, so they're the ones that you need anyway for the 6-piece. Obviously, I've got the pants, so that's your 6-piece. I'm not going to go through all them. Everyone should know what they are. However, just to show what the difference is now, so the damage you receive is 50% while Sweeping Wind's active. So I have Sweeping Wind all the time, so it's a permanent 50% decrease in damage. On top of the 25% I get, then another 25% when I get Hexing Pants, so a massive decrease. Every second Sweeping Wing spawns a decoy. The last enemy hit taunts nearby enemies and explodes for 500 for each stack of Sweeping Wind. Now the way that this works, now I have 10 stacks, that's 5,000% increase in damage, so that obviously works with the other item, for what it's called now, Vengeful Wind, and this increases it massively. And then the last one is every second, every time you channel Wave of Light, you basically increase your damage by 1,500% on your Sweeping Wind. So that's pretty good. I'm wondering if it's possible to actually take this last set piece out and change it for something else and put in maybe the mantras if you need, but I'm not sure yet. I need to look into it and have a play with it, but for now I'm just sticking with this. So on top of this build, you also need, and this is an absolute must item, and before you can even attempt this build, you must have this, and it's Chaos. I can't pronounce it. Chaos Shiro's Soul. So basically, it gives you two stacks of sweeping wind every second, and basically it doesn't deal any damage, but you don't need it to. But what happens is it permanently keeps your stacks at 10 continuously. So it'll drop down to 9, then go back to 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. So you're permanently at 10 or 9, depending on what you need. But that's a brilliant way to do it. So on top of that, I'll just quickly change that back. On top of that, the rings. I actually haven't got any good rings at the minute. I'm just taking these just because this is what I found. These are absolutely not part of this build at the minute. I just don't know what else to take yet, and I haven't really found anything that's half decent. Like these are terrible. Do you know what I mean? They're absolutely awful. I don't even need spirit generators. Well, actually, yeah, no, I suppose this one's pretty good. Your spirit generates by 41%, keeps my spirit up. However, the other one is not really a must. This is just a bit of extra damage. However, I could probably change this for something else. I need to look into it and decide what I need, but I'll go through why I've picked certain bits on it anyway. And another one, a good one to have, is balance. Obviously increases damage of Tempest Rush, and it also gives you extra damage against single targets, pretty much is what that means. So that gives you 100% crit chance, which is brilliant when you start taking out bosses and rift bosses and things like that, so that's a good way to go. Obviously taking greens, emeralds, and then cooldown reduction in your helm. I have Bane of the Trapped as my my special gem. I've also taken Bane of the Stricken. This just so you can kill bosses a bit easier, so you don't have to mess around and stuff like that. It just makes life a little bit more simple. And now you want to take cooldown reduction. You want to take resource reduction and things like that. Obviously to keep your spirit down. Now my resource regeneration is on 20 a second. Now, it's by no means perfect. I do need to get the crudest boots, which I do not own yet. Once I get them, crudest boots will go in there, which then will double it and give me an extra an extra 4, so it'll be 24, which will then that'll nearly never go down. However, I have resource cost reduction, which is 21.32, and then obviously increase in my spirit as well. So that always helps. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. So that's the build that you need to go down. By no means am I geared out or anything like that, and I can do T7 and T8 pretty much no problems at all. So I'll just quickly go into my Paragon points to be able to show you. So I can actually change this one now because I noticed I actually have enough now, so it's 13 and 43. So obviously max out your move speed, that's a must, and I would say go for maximum spirit, just so it's easier to keep up your Tempest Rush with no problems at all. In your offense, take cooldown reduction, that's obviously self-explanatory. Crit chance, crit damage, then attack speed, probably in that order. Obviously sort these out as you need to go for the 10% cap on each side, about 10% of each, so your crit chance should be at least 10% of your crit damage. In defense, obviously all resist, then armor, life, and then life regen. And then on this one, obviously resource cost reduction, max out, and then obviously area damage. Area damage is really good in this. Obviously you are doing area effect damage, so go for that on there. Now, based on your skills, with your arm guards, which I forgot to mention in the build, these are only level 53. I am waiting to get some new ones, but the principle is more for the passive effect, not for anything else. Enemies take 325% more damage, up to 400% if you can find some, if they are hit with a blind freeze or stun. Now this sort of builds up with what I've built here. So Tempest Rush. Now you can play Flurry. The last Tempest build I did have Flurry, and it is very, very good against bosses, and it does actually work very well in this build. I've noticed. I just tried it before, and that's what you saw me changing before. However, for this I'll stick on Northern Breeze. So it increases your damage to 500, obviously per tick, but obviously Flurry will go way, way, way above that. However, this does reduce your cooldown, your cost reduction to 25 spirit rather than, I think it's 50 or 30. So this reduces it by 5, which is really handy if you are struggling to keep your spirit up. So obviously that's your main ability. This ability will pretty much be permanently held down. You might want to keybind this just so it can stay on permanently, but that's up to you. Then in your left click, notice here you do not need any spirit regen abilities. In your left click, take blinding flash, and I would recommend going for the favored light. Basically, it's just increasing damage, so on top of this 325%, you get another 29% on top of that. However, if you are struggling to maintain your spirit and you are finding it a bit more difficult, take replenishing light. Basically, this will just give you an extra 10 per hit. There is a few more if you are struggling. You don't want to take this one, but possibly the healing one. Which actually wait. Oh, I thought there was a healing blinding flash. My bad. I must be breath of heaven. But I recommend these two if you're going to go for any. That's pretty much the only ones there are for that one. On the next one, Mystic Ally, Air Ally. This is pretty much a must. This just sort of speaks for itself, to be honest. Easy spirit regen, spirit if you need it. Obviously, when you get Cruder's boots, that'll give you the extra, or the double. Excuse me. So next we'll go for mantra. Well, the mantra is totally up to you. You can change the mantra to anything you like. I've only picked this for the movement speed, and that's the only really reason I picked this one. However, I think the 40% resistance would be quite good. And once again, if you are struggling for mana regen, obviously you can take the healing mantra. That also gives you spirit regen, which will be this one, if you really must. However, I'll stick to the one I've got, and I'll keep that one on for now. Sweeping wind, sort of a must. Take in a storm, 8 spirit per second. That's a lot of spirit. The other one I would say you could probably go for possibly is the cold one or the blade one, but to be honest, Inner Storm is probably the must on this, just for the spirit regen. On top of that, Desert Shroud. Now, I have been looking into this and thinking possibly you could change it for something else, because you don't actually need it for the spirit regen, and all of them give you spirit regen, so it makes no difference, but the damage reduction is nice, and you can have this up quite a lot if you're playing the Zodiac Ring. So Desert Shroud is a pretty good one to have. On top of that, so you need the one that gives you maximum spirit, so take that one with the spirit regen as a must. Guardian's Path, I am using 2 as a weapon, so all regen up by 15%. Yep, brilliant. So it's a good one to go for. Momentum for increased damage for 20%, so that's a permanent 20% increased damage. Now, if you are struggling and you can't keep alive, something like Harmony would probably be a good choice, or Determinate. There is quite a few you can take for this one instead of Momentum, but for the damage, that's the one I'd go for. And then Beacon of Light, obviously, for the 20% cooldown reduction on pretty much your Blinding Flash and your Epiphany, which is the only ones that you need that one for. Okay, so I've pretty much gone through all the details on that. I'm really missing the Hexen Pants. I do need them and really bugging me. However, we'll stick with this for now, and I'll show you how it works. So I'll go on a level, no, 54. So I'm on T7, so I'll just show you a T7, just a general rift, and just show you how this works. Now, when you do start a Great Rift or a normal, I don't think a normal rift does it. Now, what you want to do is set your Sweeping Wind off first, and we'll just wait about a second or two, because what happens is, actually I'll show you. Basically what happens is, if you take Sweeping Wind straight away, then start, as soon as you use your first Tempest Rush, it'll actually get rid of your Sweeping Wind. I'll show you. So Sweeping Wind into it, and it deletes it instantly. So just wait a second for a couple of stacks to build, and that way it'll constantly stack and you won't lose anything. So basically after that, it's a simple, just rush through and click everything. Hold down your right mouse button and you should just be able to breeze through this, to be honest. Basically what you want to do is left click whenever you find a mob, an elite or something like that. Blinding Flash basically increases your damage massively. Just gives you absolutely tons and tons of damage to be able to kill any elites, especially at this level, with absolutely no problems. So obviously the only other thing I can think of is changing this to Flurry, which obviously gives you the increase in stats and damage when you stop still for the attack. And basically what you do is, when you stop, you can click, which then obviously gives you increased damage on your blinding flash, and then the damage of the flurry, which then obviously does absolutely tons and tons of damage. So that's one way to do it. The only other thing I can think of is possibly in place of my rings, which will replace my amulet as well, which is, I think it's the new Compass Rose set. By doing this, it gives you 50% decreased damage when you're moving, 100% increased damage when you're standing still. Now, with the flurry build, this would actually probably work absolutely fantastic. But however, I don't know, because I haven't got the full Compass Rose set. I've got the amulet, but I don't have the ring. So once I do get it, I'll probably give it a go and see actually how strong this is. My mate said that probably a good choice to go for and give it a blast and see how you get on with it. But for now, I'll just stick with this. It's working. You know, I can rush through this pretty quick. What do we get? Oh, potion, lovely. I can rush through this pretty quick without any problems. What I'll do is I'll stick the flurry on and show you the difference. There isn't a great deal of difference, to be honest, apart from it being a cold effect and you're getting the stack. Obviously, as it builds up. The only problem with that is if you do click things, it does get rid of it, which does become a bit annoying. So you don't get any increased damage on your actual initial hit. It's more when you stop. As you can see, you can't actually instantly hit anything, or instantly kill most things, should I say. Especially elites and things like that. So this could be potentially the other way to do it, rather than actually having the northern breath, I think it is. But that all depends if you can maintain your spirit high enough, like I can. Absolutely no problems at all. So like here, you can literally one-shot nearly off anything. I think you can do the same to Rift Guardian as well when that spawns. However, it all depends on how many stacks you have. So try and build your stacks up beforehand. The only problem with that is if you get anyone with knockback effect, that might cause you some problems. Now where the hell is that goblin I've just turned? Not there. Yeah, the only thing is I've got to collect the death breath because I'm running low on him. Now where's that goblin? Must be this way. Hello, goblin. Lovely. And we're off. Okay, so we'll try and rush through this now and try and get to the end. But as you can see, absolutely no problems at all. Mobs are easy enough to kill. If you do struggle and take some damage, just pop your Epiphany. Massive reduction in damage, isn't it? So it's not a problem at all. I think it might actually have somewhere a damage reduction bar, which will probably be pretty good to look at. Let's see what I come up with. See what it comes up with. That's not that way. Isn't it in detail somewhere? Crowd control reduction. Oh, it doesn't actually. That's quite surprising. Alright, okay. Probably not the fastest. Obviously with move speed, but I probably need a bit more move speed. But it is easy and it can be efficient. I think obviously you got like Dash and Strike Monk with max cooldown, but you do need some seriously good gear. Like you've seen my gear is terrible. Like I'm not even hitting 1,000,000 damage, but I'm absolutely breezing through this without any problems. Now obviously with stuff like Dash and Monk and stuff like that, you do need to have some half decent gear, or especially with like the 7-side Strike Monk, which is what I played last season. I do have nearly all the gear for that, but it's obviously not easy gear to get hold of. Sometimes it can be a bit more of a pain in the ass, so trying to stick to having this is just really easy, to be honest. Obviously you get the some Wukos set just by doing the missions or the quests now early on. You know, the free 6p bonus that they brought into the new season. So it makes life easy. If you want the set straight away, you only need to get a few items then just to make it make your life easier. really you only need 2 items on top of it to make this actually work. Which is obviously that the 2 or 1 that I've got in the one that I've got in the cube as a passive, and one that I've my belt. Basically, the only 2 that you need, so it's not too difficult. And as you can see, even with Florian, I've not run out of spirit yet. Let's see. I'll try and keep my stacks up now. I'll try and keep them going because I should be hitting the rift boss soon, so I should be able to kill him pretty quick. Unless I found one of them. I hate that. You get more looking legendaries from chests than you do from elites themselves. Okay, so I'll keep this stacking. I'll get it to the 100% before I go and fight the rift boss. Oh, they teleport on you now, don't they? 70 odd, that should be enough. As you can see, instantly kill rift bosses, and you can actually do that on T8 as well. I'm not tried T9 yet. I don't, obviously my build, my items aren't the greatest, so I can't go that far. So that's obviously not a problem. Like, it's a bit of an issue. Oh yeah, just as a reminder, I forgot. Follower, obviously take your Templar, gives you spirit, spirit regen up or whatever. So that's a good one to take. I need to get the item to stop them dying yet, but as you know, that's just bits and pieces, not a massive problem. Okay guys, well that's basically the new, or the one I've come up with, the newest Tempest Tempest build, so you can just obviously keep it up permanently. Some people might struggle with that a little bit. I think I showed it before, didn't I? I hope you liked it, a bit of knowledge. If anyone's got any information on extras that I can actually add to this, because I do need a few things for it, so rings and possibly switching out some of these, but also I'm going to take out these boots and change them for something else, but once I get the chance to, that's obviously when. Well, I hope you enjoyed this guide on the new Tempest build, and I'll see you next time for some more gaming videos.